Welcome back to the shop. It's good to see you again. I've been busy. I've been making some bits. This, and this.
Oh, and an update on the lathe.
So let's get started. My lathe test bar has turned up. Now, I heard it's in a cardboard box. Who'd have thought? I got the feeling from the picture that it was going to be in one of those telescopic plastic cases, but clearly not. There we go. One MT3 test bar.
I tried fitting this MT3 test bar in the spindle of the lathe, but I couldn't get it where I was actually that happy with it. There was a tiny bit of wobble, even with a bit of brute force.
So let me just explain what I've been doing here. First and foremost, when I put the bar in, it had a wobble, and so I thought, something's wrong. So after a lot of cleaning and measuring and bluing stuff up and checking contact patterns, I've come to the conclusion that I think there was something stuck in the in one of these tapers, because it was wobbly. Now I've taken all of the wobble out. You can probably see the gauge move, but that's me flexing the bar. So what we've got here is the spindle nose, which is an MT5 taper. Inside that is an adapter, MT5 to MT3, and the test bar is MT3. So that it's all rigidly mounted, and what I've been doing is measuring the eccentricity at this end and the eccentricity at this end and subtracting one from the other. Now you'll have to tell me if I'm right or wrong here, because I'm no expert on this, clearly, and I'd be very interested to see what you think, because measuring the eccentricity, I've got my paper. Right, measuring the eccentricity at this end, I get 0.038 of a millimetre. At this end, I get 0.2 of a millimetre. So subtracting one from the other, I get 0.62. Now, I think that the 0.62 is in fact the fact that the headstock's not aligned with the bed. So, and that broadly agrees with my other measurements of about 0.15 of a millimetre. So 0.16, this is probably a slightly more accurate method of doing it. So before I go and touch this lathe, I'd be very interested to hear what you've all got to say as to whether or not what I'm doing here is valid, because I'm measuring eccentricity. I haven't got something that runs absolutely concentrically, and that's because this isn't a really expensive, good quality, top quality lathe. I think it's really intended for school use. So there is eccentricity wobble, if you like, in the spindle head, in the spindle nose. There's there's not a lot, to be perfectly honest. It's reasonably accurate, but by the time you put an adapter in and then the test bar, there is significant, what I would call significant, 0.038 of a millimetre at this end. So let me know. I will not undo the headstock and align it until I've had a good think about it, and people have put suggestions in the comments. So do let me know, and we'll have a go at this once we've had a good think about it. That's on hold for the moment. In the meantime, though, I've been busy. So I've got a fancy set of drawers now. That's not something you should say in polite society, is it? So let me show you how I made those.
I cut the top and bottom of this cabinet box together. That's the easy way to make them absolutely the same size. And of course there's always plenty of sanding. Before you all chip in the comments, I absolutely can't believe I did this without some form of dust mask. What a numpty. This 19mm or 3/4 inch, for those inclined that way, ply is actually going to form the boxes inside that cabinet that you just saw me test fit under the lathe. This miter station I've built doesn't half speed up this operation. It's so easy to just mark off the length of a bit of wood, chop it up, you've got it absolutely square. Perfect. This might look dodgy, and it probably is, but what I'm doing here is cutting a rebate for the drawer base to slide into. You'll see in the next minute or so. This pocket hole jig from Vivor improved dramatically when I remade the hardened collets that the drill runs in. It's one of my previous videos. If you're interested in this bit of kit, go and have a look at that video, because as it's supplied, I don't think it's really fit for purpose. If you get yourself a pocket hole jig, get one of these pocket hole clamps. They are absolutely superb. They make it so much easier to line all the parts up. Here you go. This is what the rebates were for. Look, the base just slides straight in. Perfect. So simple. I did get this box square, but as you can see with it rocking on the desk, I didn't quite get it flat. So yeah, that's between you and me. Keep it under your hat. I've used loads of these drawer runners in this project, and I have to say they came from a well-known screw supplier you find in industrial estates in small towns across the country, and they are really good. They can cope with quite a good load, and they're a piece of cake to fit, so I recommend them. This is the hack for getting the runners in the right place inside the cabinet. You work out where they got to go, then cut a piece of scrap ply or whatever board, that you can use as a fence, so that marks the position. Once you've fitted each runner on both sides, then you cut it down for the next one. So you must start at the top. Off camera, I added these two strips underneath this cabinet because it occurred to me that there's I have a sort of a honeycomb anti-fatigue mat in front of my lathe, and the bottom drawer has to clear that, so I needed to lift the whole cabinet up by at least the thickness of the mat. So hence those two runners on the bottom there. These are 4mm pieces of birch ply, so I'll put that under there, and the same this side. That should give me the clearance above and below the drawer, which it does, but only just. That's not pretty. I now need some ply to use for the drawer fronts, so I found this in my cupboard. Yeah, good enough. Well, good enough for me. This is the drilling jig that I made some time ago. I bought a job lot of handles, and this is the right pitch for those handles, so it makes it so much easier to get them all perfectly lined. And here I'm just drilling the front of the drawer boxes so that you'll see that's how you actually hold the front panels on. The first operation is to get the drawer fronts in the right place, then screw them through the holes that will be the handles. That holds them in place. Then from the inside of the drawer you can actually put the screws in that hold the front on, then take the first set of screws out, drill through, put the handles on. Sounds complicated, but it's actually a piece of cake. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't he just stick the felt straight to the bottom of the drawers? Well, as you've asked, I'll tell you. These drawers are going to have quite a load in them. They're going to be full of all sorts of steel and lumpy cast iron bits and stuff. So the drawers are quite heavy, and I thought this extra 6mm thick or 1/4 inch layer of ply would actually help to strengthen the bottom of the drawers up so they wouldn't sag over a period of time. So it might be mad, but not as mad as you might think. How nice is that? As semi-professional as ever. After a bit of adjustment, that is good enough.
for me.
Go on, I've told you 100 times. Get in the bloody hole. Go on, get in that bloody hole. Go on. There you go. That's good enough.
That's good, you can still open it. Excellent.
Time is getting a bit more pressing for me, so in truth I literally just chucked everything that I needed for this lathe in these drawers and the two cabinets. So yeah, don't judge me, it's not pretty. I mean, look at that, it's just a bloody mess. Never mind. I should also point out that off camera these boxes had 3 coats of decent floor varnish. And on with the next project. This is a cabinet that I saved from when we had a little business. It's the sort of cabinet you use for stationery and hazardous materials, and I thought, yeah, I'm not going to throw that away, that's too useful a bit of kit. But it was in my other shed and got a bit rusty, so I had no choice but to clean it down and spray it up again. So here we go. I bought some pewter coloured hammerite type of paint, or hammer finish paint I should call it, and I really love the colour, so I bought enough to do lots of machines in it, so you'll see a lot more of this in the future. Having done this, I think I could add another shelf and get even more crap in there.
I picked up some more wood for the next phase of construction, but first, this is where I am with the lathe. I am utterly convinced that the no, I'll rephrase that. I'm reasonably convinced that the headstock needs a lining. I believe it's slightly out. I think it's slightly canted forward. The results I've gleaned from my MT3 test bar have been inconclusive because I can't get the eccentricity out of this end, which means there's something not right with the Morse taper in the spindle, or my Morse taper 3 to 5 adapter isn't right. So it's all a bit inconclusive. I've run another test cutting a tiny amount off this wasted bar, and it just repeats what the best of the measurements I can make, which says that it's out by 0.15 of a millimetre over about 300. So yeah, anyway, more to the point, I haven't got any more time to spend on this for the moment, so I'm going to have to put it on the back burner and carry on, because I'll show you, I've got the old workshop needs to be cleaned out completely because we're hoping to do some work on the house, and that's going to be a bedroom, so that needs to be cleaned out as soon as possible, which means I need to just finish the bits and pieces in here that I need to get done in here, then I can strip that out. So with that in mind, let's on with the next bit. Under the pillar drill strikes me as probably the best place to store the drills, so I'm going to put 2 trays in here on slides that I'm going to pile all my drills onto, so that's the next thing to do. closer.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that's heavy. Right, drills. Taps, dies and reamers. So here we are, the finished unit. Drills, taps, dies and reamers. Excellent. Well, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. It's good to see you again. Please hit the like and subscribe button and share the video. It does help the channel grow. And please, if you've got any thoughts on this old girl, do let me know down in the comments so that we can get her sorted out. I would like to get it in as best a condition as I possibly can. I've taken most of the twist out of the bed, but I'm absolutely convinced that the headstock's out of alignment. However, I don't have a lot of time at the moment to complete it, so bear with me on that. But do leave a comment because it would be very useful to see what people think. Anyway, thanks for watching again, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.